All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Jason. This is my beautiful wife, Laura Richardson with Rowe Real Estate. And today we're very excited to have on some of our friends and awesome local community business leaders that are out there. So we have a spotlight going on today for Jim and Allison Creagh with Creagh Furniture.
Yeah, we are so pumped, and we felt really blessed that they were willing to give us some of their time to just talk about like their backstory and how they started their business and what that's looking like in the current days, and just to get to know them a little bit more and how the community can kind of come together and support them.
Yeah, and so, Laura and I have been wanting to start this for a while. It just so happened that we're able to start this community spotlight, during these times because we can get more people together right now. And really, this is to focus on the small businesses that are out there for us. So giving them a shout out and, listening to their stories and kind of building their brand as well. And we're really looking forward to that part, but we're going to continue this even after this season is over and we figure out where things are going. So be on the lookout for that part. So Jim, Allison, thank you guys for joining us today. We're really excited.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we feel flattered that you asked us. So,
well, let's give everybody just a heads up. So we both have small children. This is nap time. We're strategically planning it during that. Probably a 90% chance somebody's going to have an interruption, but we'll roll with it because that's just how times are right now. So let's start out. Just give us a little background, who you are, how long have you lived in the area, what you do, and what kind of, or just, how many kids you have, general stuff like that.
Okay. So Jim and I got married in 2015. And we both grew up in Raleigh, born and raised. We both went to NC State. We actually didn't meet until maybe 2013, started dating, got married pretty quickly. So we met through the Summit Church where we go now with the Richardsons.
Yeah.
And we have 2 kids. Lily just turned 3, and Paxton is almost 10 months. So, yep. Raleigh names, right?
You're not busy at all with running your own business and a million other things. So that's, like I said, we have 20, 30 minutes that we carved out today, and hopefully we can get that.
When they're that age, you're definitely in the thick of things for sure, trying to multitask and everything.
Yes.
So tell us about Creagh Furniture, when you guys started that, how did you think of the idea, and, just any background you have on that part.
I think I started originally about 2015. My dad actually started building about 2011-ish, 2010 or 11-ish. So it's been, almost 10 years now. He just started randomly making furniture, built a couple of things for our house, decided to list one on Craigslist, and then it sold in about 2 days. So he's like, I'm going to make another one. Might as well sell it. And all of a sudden from there, it just kept building. And he just started really blowing up. Probably around, like I said, about 2014, 2015, he showed me how to build a table or two. And then I started building kind of full-time, part-time here and there in 2015. I stopped for 2 years. I have another business that I run actually as well. And then I started up Creagh Furniture again full-time in about 2018. So awesome. It's been a blessing, man. And I love doing it. Got to be honest, I'm a little spoiled now working from home with Allie and the kids and stuff like that. And I absolutely love it, but we're just so grateful that it's been able to sustain us full time. So,
yeah, that's awesome. So take us back. So your dad started, is your dad trained woodsman, or is this YouTube tutorials? Now he's awesome. And then kind of fed it to you. How did all that get started?
AnnaWhite.com. He found a little plans for a table, made it. They had a bunch of plans on there. He started doing theirs and then adding a little variation, obviously, to not, make the exact same table that everyone else makes as well. And then him and I both started venturing out where we just make tables completely different than kind of what everyone else is offering. So, we're just grateful. A lot of people like real wood furniture, so it's nice that they like the sturdiness. So it's nice that so many people around here enjoy we're definitely in a good area for farm style furniture. That's all.
Yeah. So talk about that piece for a little bit. You focus on farm style furniture, and we'll put a link for sure, to all of your social media accounts so that everybody can see that. But what was kind of your first design to where you were a few years ago to now? How has that evolved?
Oh man, it's sometimes I'll be honest, I feel a little guilty sometimes when I look back, or there's a friend that I built the table for, and I look at it, and, you know, obviously they love it. And I look at it like, oh gosh, did I build that? It's just, so it's, you know, my first pieces were really kind of the standard 4 legs. They're 3.5 by 3.5 or 4x4s. They're just standard square legs, and then just straight planks across for the top 3 or 4 of them. Your traditional farm style look. Pinewood, a lot of pine, Douglas fir. And then obviously now I've kind of ventured into like more of the exotic hardwoods, kind of carving my own pedestals on the bandsaw, doing things really that just there aren't a lot of people doing out there, which is which somewhat makes it unique. So
yeah, and I've really enjoyed like seeing those pictures come out over the past few months. Some of the newer stuff that you're doing, it's awesome.
Oh, thank you, man. Thanks.
I want to know, Allison, when Jim. So you know, I've known Jim for a while. We'll get that part out. Awesome people, and he's like me. He's entrepreneurial spirit. He's got 100 ideas that he wants to do and conquer the world. So like we get each other that part. But like you as my wife, Allison as Jim's wife, when he came to you and was like, I'm going to build furniture full time. Like this is where God led me. This is where I want to do. What was your answer to that? And like, how did you feel at that time with small kids too?
Well, so we started the business before kids, but it was like pretty part-time. It was kind of a hobby, but we were selling it too. And I was more in it with them. Like I stained everything, painted, you know, I was more like hands-on at that point before kids. And then, and like he said, he bought this other business that's a software program in schools. And so he just took off with that. And I was kind of bummed because, oh man, I really want to do a business with him and I don't have anything. And so once some kind of, you know, weird franchise stuff went down with the school system. And so that's when he was like, okay, I really want to just try to just see how far this goes. And for Jim, it was pretty gradual, but I mean, he was like, we started filing, you know, making the business official. And I was praying. I was like, I really was praying, like, dear God, please, like help this to just be something that is going to take off if this is your will, obviously, because I love it. It's really fun. And I'm so thankful too that he gets to be at home, because if not, like, yeah, he would have to, you know, suit up, leave to the office. That's just not us. So I'm really thankful. It's been really fun.
So there really hasn't been that much of an adjustment period over the past, 6 weeks or so since this pandemic started for everybody. It's just like another day for you right now, going to the office for all of you all. I mean, it's just kind of, you worked it in there. I'm sure you can get some tips to other people, or people will probably reach out to you as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's one of the things that like we're still getting used to, is kind of working together at that part. So mm-hmm. it's good to hear that other people are in that situation as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So Allison, I know you guys are on social media and you're putting your name out there for people to be able to access you. At this time, like, what's been one of the tougher things that you guys have seen as far as your business or getting used to this time period in lieu of your kind of typical day?
Do you want to answer that? I mean, we are seeing a little bit of a shift in just how many people are reaching out and wanting to order, obviously, because the economy has taken such a decline. So, and a lot of these people are buying tables because they're upgrading and they want something nicer mm-hmm. for their family or their homes. And so we have seen a little bit of a decrease in that way, but, thankfully we haven't had to change our business structure. And so that's been awesome. But we also know everyone always needs a kitchen table. So we're just, have a lot of hope and positivity in that it's going to come back up once, this stuff kind of passes. But we have seen it's just a little less busy right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know that you guys are super personable people, and so I'm sure that something that has always kind of been on your heart when you guys give this piece of furniture, like when you're talking about a kitchen table, and you imagine what's happening with families right now, getting to spend so much time together, and the fact that you guys are literally giving them a platform, right, to have that time together. And I think that's such a wonderful thing to be able to offer people.
Yeah. I think one of the questions I had was, you guys also, one thing that makes you different than some of the other people out there is you do delivery as well, correct? So have you had to change anything, any methods for delivery right now during what we're going through?
I am I guess this is so. I guess construction. That's what I do. I mean, I build tables, carpentry, so it does fall under essential in that way. I've asked everyone. I've asked everyone. I'm really trying to limit the people that are coming over. Obviously, don't want to get exposed to anything. But I'm on the deliveries. I'm asking everyone. We can stay away. I can leave the table out front. Whatever you want to do to make it easiest for you guys. So a lot of people have been still taking up on that. And obviously no one's been coming in our house to kind of see the furniture that we have here. But yeah, just really been kind of staying away. All in all, it hasn't been too bad. I think a lot of people are just working from home now, and they're looking at their kitchen table and being like, I think I need to upgrade
now.
So
one. Yeah, they really want their table.
Yeah.
We're one of those people.
Yeah. We're definitely getting less. Yeah. So it's been great. It's been great. So yeah.
Now, have you guys had any opportunities to build anything in particular besides like a kitchen table? Like, I know that's probably the standard, but what other things have people asked you to? Has there been anything kind of out of the ordinary that somebody has asked you to build based on your work?
I honestly, Laura, I get probably 1 to 2 messages a day about random stuff. The problem is my whole business, I really want to focus around giving the best possible product for the cheapest cost. That's what I believe in. I don't make fine furniture. I make farm style furniture. Now, that being said, I pride myself on the integrity of the table. I want it to last forever. I obviously sand it really well, no splinters, anything like that, but it does have a rustic look to it. I'm not going to finish the bottom perfectly like a $10,000 table would be. All in all, I really try to keep my focus on just really the quality of the furniture while keeping the cost down as much as I can on there. So, say the question one more time. I got off track a little bit. Sorry.
Well, you hit it right on the nose. Look, there we go. There's one of them. That 90%.
There's one. Yep.
Hey. So this is what it's like, working from home and then having your small business at that home. So actually, it's one of the benefits, is what we say when it comes to it. So that part's pretty awesome. No, Jim, you answered it perfectly. That's what we were looking for. So I kind of have a question for you. Everybody that has their own business, I'm trying not to put you on the spot, but there's like pieces of furniture for you that you may like to make more than others, like a table over a chair or something like that, or painting it or staining it. Is there anything that you like? What's your favorite piece to make? I guess is what my question would be.
The table that we're sitting on, I can maybe give you a little glimpse.
Yeah, please do. If you can do that. Look at that.
This is called a Wormy Maple table. Anything with Wormy Maple is my favorite. It is just the character on it's unreal. I'm sorry, I was gonna say, Laura, back to what I was saying before. So every day I get about 1 to 2 messages about random furniture. My problem is that it's not that I don't want to make it. I mean, I get asked everything you can imagine. I mean, bookshelves to coffee tables with openings to built-ins to everything, almost every single day. The problem is I just can't focus on that because make something new, I don't want to just slap it together. I want to take my time. And in reality, I could probably make 3 kitchen tables by the time I make that custom piece. And then I don't want to charge somebody $800 for a random coffee table. I want to keep my prices low in $100 range or $150 range, right where people like to be, which is why I want to keep everything low. But just doing new pieces right now is challenging because it really takes time to measure everything out, as opposed to kind of knowing all the measurements in the back of my head for everything else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have figured out your niche of like furniture and what you're doing. You have a system and a process in place for that. And that's the benefit to that part that people need to see as well. Like, you could make tons of other stuff, but you've got this down to where you're bringing that value for us on those pieces that you're currently making. So totally respectable.
Right. Yes, exactly. And again, if I had less, if there comes a time where the kitchen tables aren't as in abundance and people message me about them, obviously I will venture off to other things. But right now it's just like, that's really my focus, and I want them to get better and better and cheaper and cheaper for cost wise. And there's so many people that come to me, and a lot of these tables, I don't know if a lot of people haven't looked. I mean, Pottery Barn sells tables in the $25,000 to $3,000 range, $3,500 range. Other very fine furniture companies can sell walnut tables for up to $15,000. I mean, it gets very expensive, and obviously my goal is to have that nice wood still make a table and be in the $600, $700, $800, $1,500 range using the same kind of wood. So I think I've been very grateful. And a lot of people like, even though it's not necessarily everything's finished to a T, it's still the same wood, the same integrity, the same quality as something that expensive too. So that's been a blessing to do for sure.
That's good stuff for sure.
Absolutely. So right now, how could the community support you guys anymore? Is it just going to visit any of the social media sites or websites that you guys have? Like, what can we do to help support Creagh Furniture?
I mean, one reason why we also love Creagh Furniture is because it is such a family business. I don't know if we mentioned this, but we work outside, in our driveway. So we have a detached garage, and so that's our shop. And so it's really fun to be able to meet people, obviously, when they come over. But during this time, since we're trying not to do that, it's really fun for us when people follow us on social media and, comment and just talk to us on there. We love that. We love getting messages. Jim loves that, like talking to people, because he really is passionate about making the furniture, just all, the different type of wood and the different type of stains and all the options that we have is really fun to talk about. So so just communicating with us through our social media platforms is really encouraging.
I was just sitting here thinking, I think one thing that as people watch this, or if they've been a past client of yours or something that they could do to support you directly at this time that they're visiting your social media is, if they haven't already, like, leave a review from what you have. Go ahead and put on your social media account, like, your experience with Creagh Furniture, what they bought, and then just tell a little bit about it. I think that part would help, like, immensely during a time like this, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We both social media together too.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was saying we both do social media together. So it's not just me. Like, he actually does more than people realize, which I love, because he's not even on
I was going to ask that too. Yeah. So are you taking credit for the pictures that are really good on there, and Jim's the one that just
I take credit for that. Okay. Yes. I take credit for the good pictures.
There you go. I don't think there's.
I'm an Android user all the way. I will always be an Android user, but portrait mode on iPhone has tempted me to get one. So.
Just the iPhone camera.
It is tempting me right now.
That's funny. Well, they just announced the cheaper iPhone today, $399. I don't know if it has that on there, but look at it. It's business expense.
Sweet.
Any other questions about that part? Is there anything like anything new that you have coming out with the company, or anything that you want to tell anybody right now before we kind of hit the final thoughts?
What else?
White Oak's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I did. I used to grow up. Long story. I used to grow up in a place called New Life Camp. I'm sure a lot of people locally are familiar with it. I actually lived there for a couple of years, and they're making way for a new building. So one of the old guys that worked there messaged me recently and had a ton of white oak. And white oak is very, 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 very expensive. As in, buying the wood alone for a table is over $1,000.
Yeah.
Between $500 and $1,000 if you're using 2-inch thick wood. Sometimes even more than that by the time you get milled. But I have probably enough to build about 60 or 70 tables, which is really cool. And I'm going to be able to sell it really cheap. And it's sitting there right now, 13-foot boards, 2-inch thick, 10 inches wide. So I'm going to make some really cool white oak pedestal tables and tables like that. And I'm excited because I'm going to be able to sell them super cheap and also have the quality of white oak, which is one of obviously the best woods.
That's
and
awesome.
He was able to get me a lot of that. Only unfortunate thing is I have to let it dry for about a year and a half now. So I'm in the waiting game right now for that. But once that comes around, I'm super excited about that. So, yeah.
Oh, cool. One other question I have for you guys is there any advice, or is there anything that you all have had to work on working together as a husband and wife as you've kind of gone through this? It's evolved over the past few years. Is there a piece of advice you could give other people that are either thinking about starting their own business or being an entrepreneur that work together?
Okay. The biggest thing that I had to get over and learn is, and thankfully I've only known him as an entrepreneur and business owner, and so I had to get used to this when we were dating, is that when you own your your own business, you never stop. Like, work never ends. It's always, always on. And at first I tried to talk to him about like setting business hours and, you know, not running to go answer messages or whatever. But what I've learned and what Jim is so good at is that he loves customer service, and he doesn't want, you know, to forget to respond to somebody or like wait too long. And I totally get that. And so we just have learned together how to communicate really clearly of when I am feeling like maybe he's overworking, but also for me of just understanding this is what comes with owning your own business. There's so many pros, but there's also sacrifices you have to make with working at late nights or working on the weekends or whatever. But communicating obviously like exactly how we're feeling through that has been really helpful for us. And we've learned obviously over the past 5 years. So yeah.
That's cool.
That's awesome advice.
Yeah. All right. So for everybody watching, we've gone through the questions that we want to go through now. This is a fun part. This is like our final thoughts. We're going to ask the same questions to everybody that we do an interview with. So we'll go ahead and start on that part.
All right, so people have a lot of downtime right now. So what's a good either book or Netflix recommendation you would give folks?
Well, I do like to read, but I'm not reading right now because I'm taking care of the kids. Jim's not a reader. So we definitely do Netflix together at night. We definitely watched Tiger King, which for better or worse, I'm not sure. But it
went down the rabbit hole. We get it.
Right.
I don't know if I'd recommend it, but it was really interesting just thinking about different parts of that. I liked All American. Jim watched it with me, thankfully, because I love like drama, romance.
Our problem is, like everybody, that we binge watch a show in about 2 days, and now we have to wait a year for it to come out. Like, we love Jack Ryan, right? It's on Prime. And now it's literally, you know, we binge watch it in 3 days, and now we have to wait another year for it to come out, or Mandalorian or something like that. So
totally relatable. Understand
that kills us. Our binge watching at night kills us.
Funny. All right, question number 2 is, do you have a favorite local restaurant or hangout spot that you frequent, or not during this time, but typically?
I love Jubala. I mean, I'm like the Jubala demographic right here. So I love Jubala. With meeting with friends. Right now I've been getting to-go orders at Jubala. And then once we're able to go back there, we love taking the kids. We also love Whole Foods. So we miss going there on Saturday mornings.
My 2 favorites are there's a place in Durham and a place in Morrisville called Zenfish. It is pokey, and it is the most generous portions, the biggest bowl you will ever get. It is absolutely amazing. And then my all-time favorite restaurant, which a lot of people will not walk into because it's very sketchy. They think it's sketchy. It's Valley High, and it's an authentic Mongolian grill. And it is locally right around here. There's 2 restaurants. They're actually opening up one about 3 minutes from my house, so I might move in there. But it is Zenfish and Valley High are my top 2, and nothing even comes closer.
He loves any Asian food.
Yeah. All right. So are you going to those places? Are they open right now? I know Jubala is like.
Zenfish is. Yeah, Valley High opens in about 2 weeks. So
okay.
It actually just opening a brand new restaurant right here. So
cool.
That's awesome.
This is Laura's question that she has to ask everybody.
How do you guys take your coffee?
If you drink coffee.
And if you don't, I'd like to know why.
Okay. I drink probably 4 cups a day, and I just drink mine with half and half. I can't get away from half and half, no sweetener. And then I'll let him answer.
I've had about 3 sips in my life, and I plan on staying like that. Cannot take it. This house came with
right there. I know.
Yeah. This house came with a nice espresso maker when we bought it, and I put it to use. And you better believe when it breaks, I'm going to use some craftsmanship and woodworking and fill that in with some nice woods.
That's funny.
And I'll up my Starbucks and Jubala budgets.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, all my hopes and dreams of sitting on a front porch, drinking a cup of coffee with my husband went down the drain.
Yes. Exactly. I am with you all the way. Yes.
He bought a coffee mug and put Diet Coke in it just to try to like participate.
I'm off the aspartame now. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that is true.
funny. Jim's is kombucha, so he drinks kombucha, which is kind of fun because I do like kombucha. But
That's kind of fun. All right, greatest piece of advice you have from somebody that's starting their own business?
I would say in all my businesses, I've had about 3 or 4 now. I think the thing that I really focus on is not trying to overcharge people, not trying to take advantage of people, having the cheapest possible thing, even if you're not making a lot of profit off it. It's a numbers game. It really is. And I fully believe that. Amazon makes a lot of money because they're efficient, but the main reason they make a lot of money is because their margins are razor thin. They are able to sell things for very cheap. By the time you go to the store and pick something up, half the time you're spending more money in gas. I'm not joking. It's just their margins are nothing, and they're able to do that, obviously for quality. And we're not comparing our business or anyone I know to Amazon, of course, but doing things for cheaper and just getting your name out there and getting people to kind of acknowledge your brand or whatever you're doing, in my opinion, it is hands down the best. I've done that with pretty much all my businesses. And I'm, obviously all my success comes from the Lord, of course, nothing else. But I also believe that the cheaper prices has helped for sure in just being able to get your name out there and people not, you're not worrying about having to make 100 or 1,000 or whatever it may be per sale. It's just take what you can get, and if you're making money, you're making money. It doesn't matter how much it is in a sense, Yeah.
No, that's all good stuff. Awesome. That was a great response. We are wrapping up our show. So we have 2 final things. Is there a local business that you guys wanted to shout out, or anybody you think that we should interview or put on our list and reach out to? And if not, you can come back. You can get back to us, not to put you on the spot.
Well, Chris Hugo, he is one of Jim's business partners in his other business, but he also now is he has a videography business.
Cool.
So it's called Heritage Weddings, but they do other videos as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does very good stuff. And obviously I've been in business with Chris now for about 7 or 8 years, full of integrity, has great stuff. He's been doing weddings. He's probably shot over 100 weddings now, and offers very, very, very affordable prices for people. So
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, our final thing is we want to know where viewers can reach you. So do you have any we know you're on Facebook, anything else? You guys have any other social media handles?
Facebook, Instagram, and then we do have a website too. It's our last name. So our name is pronounced Creagh, but it's not spelled like that. So it's Cragh.
Yes.
Furniture. Creagh Furniture.
We will be sure to tag it.
Yeah, that's it.
Misspell
all accounts.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt there. We'll tag it. We'll put all that information in like our notes of the show and stuff. And I guess just to wrap up, we had an awesome time. I'm glad you guys were able to make some time to come on here. I think the biggest takeaway is Jim and Allison are full of integrity, and Creagh Furniture is an awesome spot to go, purchase your furniture, but you're getting it for not only a good price, but the quality of work that's going into it and people of integrity behind the whole thing. So you're supporting an awesome local business. And these people are great. So we appreciate you guys coming on. Anything you want to add?
No, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. And we were going to wrap up.
We'll see
Thank
you
you guys so much.
Thanks.